When I was 5. Did you ever wonder why people have to die and where they go after death? I asked my mom that question 1,000 times, but she didn't know either. Personally, I'm always haunted by this question. I instantly panic when I think about having to go through a slow and horrible death. But the thing is, human history is full of stories where people have created ways to die that would make even the devil shudder. Today, we're going deep into these stories. Are you ready to face the worst ways people have ever died? Prepare yourself and make sure you're ready for details that might keep you awake at night.
1. The Black Dahlia.
We all feel safer talking to someone who looks beautiful, but this girl, you could say, is the beauty with the most tragic, perhaps brutal, death. Let's see what happened.
In January 15th, 1947, Elizabeth Short drained of blood, her skin ghost white, her body cut cleanly in two and posed like a display. Her mouth is slashed from ear to ear, the notorious Glasgow smile. There's almost no blood at the scene, as if she was killed elsewhere and carefully staged. The press christens her the Black Dahlia, a dark flower in a city of spotlights. Detectives chase whispers of a surgeon. The bisection looks clinical, while letters arrive at newsrooms wiped with gasoline and stuffed with her belongings, taunting in cut-and-paste notes from someone calling himself the Black Dahlia Avenger. Hundreds of suspects are questioned. Dozens falsely confess. Leads spiral from doctors to Hollywood hangers-on, but nothing sticks. The autopsy speaks of skull fractures, shock, and precise mutilation. The case file grows thick, then cold. Decades later, the lot is just another patch of grass, but the shadow never left. In a town that makes illusions, one nightmare refuses to fade. Who posed her there, and why did they want us to look?
What's worse is that they still haven't caught the killer. It sends chills down my spine knowing he's still wandering around out there.
2. Top 3 most painful ways to die.
Have you ever wondered, if you had to choose a way to die, which one would be the least painful? Personally, I'd rather not think about it. Today, we're going straight into the top 3 most painful ways to die in history, and I have to warn you, number 1 is a disgusting and morbid form of medieval torture.
Top 3 most painful ways to die. Number 3 is burning to death, okay? You get one little burn on your finger, you go grab something out of the oven, like the cookie sheet, and burn yourself, and it hurts for a year. I can't imagine what burning would actually feel if your whole body was in flames. They say burn victims have the hardest road to recovery. And then it's like, great, if you don't die, you're just going to sit there in pain for the next 2 years recovering. Number 2 is getting dissolved in acid, because this just takes burning to death to a whole new level. I mean, you're in acid, it's eating every cell of your body on the outside, and then you open your mouth to scream, and the acid goes down your throat and into your stomach, right? It's a gorgeous image. If you like this list and want more about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with the most painful way to die. Also follow my wife, Samantha, who I've tagged. Number 1 is a medieval torture device where they would put people in a bathtub up to their head and keep them alive by feeding them and letting them drink, and basically letting them live in their, bodily fluids and dissolve in real time. So it's called the tub.
If you like this list and want more about other nonsense, please like and subscribe to me and leave a comment with the way you think would be the most painful way to die.
3. Valerian Emperor Molten Gold Torture.
Do you guys like being king? It sounds sweet, that is, until I heard about the next death on today's list. It's a type of horrific torture that I can't understand how humans could invent. It's even like something out of the Saw movies. Things like this make me wonder, why do some people think time travel would be a fun idea? No, trust me.
Here are 5 of the worst deaths in human history. The last one is some serious Saw-type stuff. Things like this make me wonder why some people think time travel would be a fun idea. Number 3, molten gold. Valerian was a Roman emperor who ruled from 253 AD to 260 AD, a title that's usually pretty sweet. Power, prestige, the whole empire at your feet. But as we all know, with great power comes great opportunities to mess up spectacularly. And Valerian's mistake led to him suffering one of the worst deaths an emperor could ever imagine. During Valerian's reign, the Persians, led by King Shapur I, began attacking Roman territory. Deciding he had had enough, Valerian personally led his army into battle against the Persian army of King Shapur. Valerian thought he could march in, flash some swords, and be home in time for a nice goblet of wine. But surprise, surprise, the Persians were a little tougher than expected. In the Battle of Edessa, the Persians decisively defeated Valerian's army, and he and his men were taken prisoner. As a captive, Valerian got the VIP treatment. Very intense punishment. Shopwood really got off on the fact that the Emperor of Rome was now his prisoner and subjected Valerian to the most humiliating punishments. He used Valerian as his personal footstool. Every time Shopwood wanted to ride his horse, he would make Valerian get on all fours and step on him to get on his horse. Talk about a career downgrade. But the humiliation didn't stop there. Valerian was also paraded around like a trophy, a living example of Persian dominance. Here's where it gets really, really not fun for Valerian. There are some differing stories on how Shopwood really offed him, but the most popular story is that Valerian tried to bribe Shopwood for his release by offering a mountain of gold. This gave Shopwood a great idea, and he forced Valerian to swallow molten gold as punishment, which ultimately did him in. The second way people think he may have died was that Shopwood had him skinned alive. Also terrible, but whatever version you want to believe, after Valerian was dead, Shopwood had his skin stuffed and displayed him as a trophy animal that he would show off to guests. From ruler of one of the most powerful empires in the world to being a janky scarecrow, Valerian's story is one for your nightmares.
I can't believe gold could be used as torture like that. I'm scared now. If this were modern times, perhaps people wouldn't have the heart to pour gold into his stomach.
4. Peanut butter and pit bulls.
Alright guys, have you ever heard of a punishment that initially sounded ridiculous, like being grounded or banned from TV? Personally, I can't understand what these torturers were thinking when they pulled out a tub of peanut butter. I mean, what's the point of slathering someone in peanut butter?
The gang pulled out a tub of peanut butter and began to slather it on his...
What the fuck? They freak, bro, they freak like that?
The man became confused because while covering somebody in peanut butter is a pretty strange punishment,
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
necessarily painful. However, his confusion would quickly fall into dread when the men brought out two huge pit bulls. He immediately realized what they were trying to do and began pleading for mercy. However, his cries were drowned out by the growls of the snarling dog. When the animals were unleashed, panic surged through the alleged criminal as he screamed for help. The punishment unfolded brutally. It was a slow spectacle of...
I genuinely can't understand. Why not do it quickly instead of using peanut butter as a savage bait? And I'm allergic to peanut butter, so just spreading it on me would be torture enough. I wouldn't touch peanut butter again for $1 million. I'll forever be haunted by the smell of it. The people who came up with this are insane.
5. Home invader shot in the attic.
Alright, guys, have you ever imagined what you would do when facing extreme danger, especially when your children are at risk? Personally, I would panic, but the woman in this story truly became a heroine.
Worst ways people have died.
The woman saw a man walk up to her house and ring the doorbell several times. He then retrieved a crowbar from his SUV and tried to break into the house. She took her children upstairs as the man entered the house and chased after them. The woman and her children went to an upstairs bedroom, where the mother grabbed her .38 handgun and hid in the attic. She called her husband, who then called 911. When the man opened the door to the crawl space, the woman started shooting at him. He pleaded with her to stop. He stumbled out, drove away in his SUV, and eventually crashed his car into a neighbor's yard. He was found dead with 5 gunshot wounds in his head and neck. The woman saw a man walk up to her house and ring the doorbell several times. He then retrieved a crowbar from...
I genuinely can't understand home invaders. Why voluntarily bring a crowbar to threaten a mother who owns a gun? To me, it sounds like he signed his own death warrant.
6. Kyle Plush.
Have you ever called 911 emergency number and believed that someone would come and save you? Personally, I always trusted that, but this story is a painful tragedy about the system's failure. The death of Kyle Plush.
Kyle Plush reached for the back of his Honda Odyssey for his tennis gear when the third row seat flipped over, pinning him to the floor. He was trapped, his chest compressed, unable to escape. But Kyle had his phone. He managed to call 911, and in his first call, he desperately begged, "I'm stuck in my van in the school parking lot. I'm going to die here." 5 minutes later, Kyle called again, gasping, saying, "I'm almost dead." The dispatcher sent officers to the school parking lot where Kyle's car was parked, but they never got out of their vehicle and checked each car individually. They just drove through the area and left, probably thinking it was a prank. Unfortunately, 6 hours later, Kyle's father found him dead, still crushed under the seat. The cause of death was positional asphyxia. He slowly suffocated under the weight of the seat. His death caused outrage and reforms, exposing major failures in the 911 system. His cries for help were real, but no one listened. In time, Kyle's death was slow and agonizing. This poor teenager slowly suffocated upside down in his own van.
How could the dispatchers and police officers so easily ignore? They didn't even get out of their car and search, letting the boy die so senselessly. Why didn't they bother to get out of their vehicle and check each car in the parking lot, even for a small gesture? I think those involved in the rescue operation that day should be severely punished. And you guys, please don't be careless like that either.
7. Top 5 worst ways to die scaphism.
Have you ever wondered, among all the possible ways to go, which one is the worst? Personally, I think about this more than I should. I instantly panic when I think about the pain and fear. Today, we're going deep into the top 5 worst ways to die, and I swear, number 1 is a disgusting and terrifying form of medieval execution.
Top 5 worst possible ways to die. Number 5 is being buried alive. Now, this would be in my top 2 personally, because I can't even imagine the mental agony and the claustrophobia that would go on with that. One thing they say is that if you're buried in a coffin, you only have 5 to 10 minutes of air. So you got that going for you. Number 4 is rabies. And I wouldn't have thought this one would be that bad, but apparently it's miserable and you get dehydrated and you foam at the mouth. So I would stay away from Cujo. Number 3, burning alive. And I think about this one probably more than I should. But the thought of my entire body being engulfed in flames. I mean, I take something out of the stove and I accidentally burn myself and I'm like, and it just keeps going for like an hour. It just keeps burning and burning. So to imagine that is too much, and yet I still do it. Number 2, crucifixion. And apparently this, I didn't know this, takes 3 to 7 days for you to die. And not only that, it's like incredibly painful. You asphyxiate, you like get all these muscle spasms that feels like you are being electrocuted constantly. So it wasn't fun for Jesus up there, let me tell you. If you like this list and want more about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with the way you think would be the worst to die. Also follow my wife Samantha, who I've tagged. Check out our podcast, Brutally Honest with Sam and Jacob, and book me on Cameo if you want a personal message. Number 1 is a medieval way of the death penalty, which is basically tying somebody to a boat, covering them with honey and like milk, and pushing them out to sea, and letting bugs and larvae and maggots devour them over the course of about 14 to 17 days. This one was called scaphism.
How could people in the Middle Ages invent scaphism, being devoured by insects? I truly don't understand. Why not kill someone quickly instead of tying them to a boat, covering them with honey and milk, and letting bugs, larvae, and maggots devour them for 14 to 17 days? This form of execution is truly more disgusting than anything movies could portray. If you like this list and want more about other nonsense, subscribe me and leave a comment about the way you think would be the worst to die.
8. Father feeds wife to children.
Have you ever heard a story that made you exclaim, "What the hell?" right away? Personally, I wanted to throw up as soon as I heard it. I instantly panic and feel utterly disgusted by what I'm about to tell.
He turned her into food, then later on showed up to his
What?
his sons and nieces. He attacked her. In silence and secrecy, he turned her into food.
What the fuck? This nigga boy, you just ate your wife, dude. In the wrong way. What the
Then later on, showed up to his children and nieces and told them that he found a stray dog on the street and harvested it for its meat for them to feed on. The kids were delighted and they began feasting on the food without knowing the horrific truth that they were feasting on their own mother.
That father is insane. Comment right away with your thoughts on this extreme cruelty. It reminds me of a Mother Goose rhyme. My mother has killed me, my father is eating me. My brothers and sisters sit under the table, picking up my bones, and they bury them under the cold marble stone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow so I can keep protecting you from these creepy mysteries. Thanks for watching, my dear friends. See you in the next video. Bye.